up,
Wow. You direct?
and then you need to.
I'll show you how it goes. It's really easy.
A U.S. landmark, and we had to find information and make a presentation about it. And we were assigned to use Adobe Slate. And my favorite thing about Adobe Slate is the Windows effect, is where you place an image and you slide up and down, and it makes the image more realistic. And we created a QR code where our parents came to open house and they could use our iPads or their phones to scan and see our presentations.
Tag that shows where my potato is planted. Roots are growing out of my potato. This is a wire worm. They eat our potatoes. That worm is gross.
Our senior project, we had to create a Google site, and it was about how we've grown and how we've changed over the course of the 4 years of high school.
I use AR in my classroom to help monitor independent reading. The kids set a goal at the beginning of the year based on their STAR scores, or the beginning of the semester based on their STAR scores. It helps you set that goal for a point goal, and it's adjusted by different reading levels, so every child has an opportunity to actually make their point goal. It's not standardized. And I sit down in conference with each child and we talk about that goal, and then they track their goals online. After they take a quiz, it shows their progress towards meeting their point goal.
All the books that I read throughout the year on Accelerated Reader.
So for Mr. Terhar's class, we were supposed to make a project about some sort of country. So I did Panama. I wanted to see how the Panama Canal worked. So I went down to the Ballard Locks and I used my camera app to make a time-lapse video.
Been able to do that unless I had Adobe Premiere Elements, which is more advanced than Basic, but not super advanced video editor, and you're able to do split screen, cut the frames in half, do stuff like that.
One of the great things about this calculator is that it's networkable, which allows me to send them problems and I can see their answers right away.
So for a science project, I had to make a presentation on aquaponics and its benefits. And to do that, I used Google Slides, but in order to have some music and a couple of animations in my presentation, I used a special screencast program called Screencast-O-Matic.
It's like how you leave your mark on the digital world.
To everybody online. To be... Oh, come on, I just forgot. How to know where you are when you're online.
Your responsibility to be respectful to others online, even though you're not face-to-face.
Like, don't give out, like, personal information, like where you live and stuff.
It's about being, like, responsible and regarding your safety and others. And just, like,
When you're online, don't be offensive, always be positive.
Make good choices online.
digital citizenship is when you watch what you say online and you don't say mean things or call people mean names online because it could affect your future, like getting into a college stuff.
And also this digital citizenship is when you're responsible and safe online.
Adobe Draw has been really useful for taking a picture that we want to draw ourselves and cutting it up into smaller pieces so we can get a better idea of where details are on the page.
I used the app Comic Life 3 to create the newspaper page from Michelteo. It came out with, you can create a layout and then type in all the words and pictures. I used a book to input the majority of the information, and photographs as well. And then for the science, my friend Karina and I made it together using pictures from the internet.
Online courses at Southwood Academy, and the one thing I really appreciated this year for technology-wise is having this Chromebook that I can be mobile with. I can walk up to students and actually bring my grade book right with me. And Shona, I'm going to use you as an example, if that's all right with you. I can come to Shona and I can look up her course. She's in Health Part 2. I can click on her course activity calendar and show her where she's at and have conversations with her about what she needs to do or what I'm concerned about.
The slideshow was assigned to us a couple months before open house, and so we started by using textbooks and the internet to look up things to match for each letter, and then we took most of us took an image and used used a paragraph or two of writing to explain the image and why it had to do with Washington State.
We are currently soldering on a control board right now. It's to make a radio that's actually going to play music, and it's going to have this antenna right here. And I am soldering on the C12 capacitor.
The purpose of the coding club was just to help second graders create their own stuff, just using basic tools like Notepad++ and some online things.
We used Python and HTML to teach them.
Yeah, attempt to at least.
We are making a website using Notepad++.
And the language is in HTML.
It would be a cool idea, and I actually coded something that's very hard, and I made it so it spawns a bad guy.
The project is a scene selected from the Greek mythology play Perseus, and the scene you're going to see is where Atlas is holding up the world, and he is asking Perseus to view Medusa's head so that he can turn to stone and the burden of holding up the world can be relieved.
This is the MakerBot 3D printer the school has. It's going to currently be printing a shark. There are 5 preset little examples in the printer already, and each class has had the opportunity to print an item. From there, you can also print parts for water robotics, solar cars, and anything you can imagine.
At an assembly, we were able to FaceTime with Cameron cross country to fundraise for Seattle Children's Hospital through the Builders Club.
I like to use GeoGebra because it's very accurate and complex, and I like using it for algebra.
I think keyboarding is important so you can learn how to type faster. And if you want to type something and you need it to get really done really fast, then you could type.
Okay,
Personally, I use IXL frequently in my class. I use it to reinforce concepts, to practice concepts that we've learned in class, and to review concepts that we've learned earlier in class. When students do a paper and pencil homework, they can do a whole page and do everything wrong and not realize it. When they do it on IXL, they get immediate reinforcement if they're doing it right, and if they do it wrong, the computer will tell them exactly how to solve it correctly so they can relearn what they have mislearned. I can get weekly reports to show me what students have, how much time they've spent, and what concept they've been working on.
So what I really like about IXL is that, like, well, it helps you a lot because it can explain to you like what the problems are, and plus you get a lot of practice because you can do the lessons over and over and over and over again. I've done about 3,500 problems this year.
So in U.S. History today, we use Glogster on our iPads to access all of our evidence to solve a real murder mystery. And the best thing about it was all of our evidence was on one device right in front of us.
Extra math is like the thing where you do math equations really fast, and sometimes you can get a certificate and move on to like minuses, times, and divided by.
I like the STAR assessment because it lines up with classroom instruction. It lines up with the assessments that the teachers are giving. And when you take the kids into the lab or you're doing it in your classroom, you get that immediate feedback so teachers can look immediately and see what the students scored.
I'm gonna be doing Google Classroom, and the assignments that we have been doing are like poems, and like we wrote our own fairy tales. And like I really like it a lot because she just assigns us these assignments, and then we can go off and do what we want.
Classroom's great because when I'm at home, I can see what I missed.
One thing I like about Google Classroom is that the teachers can't lose our homework.
Google Classroom is fast and organized.
The three things that I love most about Google Classroom is that I can get information to students efficiently, they can collaborate and work together, and I get immediate feedback.
Okay, so we did Egypt presentations in our class, and we used Google Slides on a Chromebook. And we shared the slides with a group of about 4.
And then we presented it to the class.
So yesterday what we did is Amber Kaiser, the author of Tansy Summer, there's 3 book covers, and she wanted us, my class, to decide which one did we like better. How we told Amber is we got on FaceTime and on Miss Kaiser's iPad, and then we all told her if we liked the first, second, or third cover.
For the Read2Go app, I used it in class to read it, for it to read my textbooks back to me so I could understand it more. I could use it for homework. I could, it would read books to me like in class so I could take notes off of it. Just helped me a lot doing my homework and in class.
So Miss Bakeman, instead of having us write out a trailer, we got to make one about our favorite books and make a book trailer.
Rather than write a book report, I had them use their iPads with the iMovie app, and they created book trailers. All of the kids were able to use their creativity and create fabulous book trailers, and now we even have some QR codes in some of the books that they've read, and kids can go to the library and view those.
So I was able to go online and create a QR code, and after I printed it, I put it into the school's library book.